My name is Marcel, and all of us from TSAV would like to welcome all of you to the Source Audio Video Design Group's YouTube channel. Today we will look at the Audeze MM500 headphones versus the 2021 Audeze LCD-X headphones. Many of you have been asking for this comparison, wondering if the MM500 is worth the upgrade, and I will do my best to answer that question for you. I reviewed the MM500 on our YouTube channel and have already compared them to a couple of other headphones, and I will link those videos at the end of this video. This will be the first time we have looked at the LCD-X, so I will take a little time comparing the tech specs, build quality, included accessories, and comfort differences, and of course, how they differ in sound, listening to several different music playlists, focusing on a few tracks to give you an idea of the differences I hear on those specific songs. I primarily will listen with several amplifiers, both tube and solid state, such as the Chord Hugo TT2, Chord Hugo 2, Audio Research's i50 integrated amplifier, the Amson Sound Pendant no longer being produced, and the OG i5 Pro Icon also no longer being made. With that out of the way, let's get down to business. The LCD-X is Audeze's older design style that most Audeze owners are familiar with. Large drivers, a bit heavier in weight, yet still built overall very well. The LCD-X weight is 612 grams versus the 495 grams of the MM500. Both are over-ear open-back planar magnetic headphones, with LCD-X using a proprietary magnet array with phasor phase management and the MM500 using a Fluxar magnet array with phasor phase management. Both headphones use neodymium N50 magnets and ultra-thin Uniforce diaphragm types. The transducer size of the MM500 is 90mm versus the larger 106mm transducer size of the LCD-X. The MM500 boasts a frequency response of 5Hz to 50kHz versus the 10Hz to 50kHz of the LCD-X, with both headphones according to Audeze having less than 0.1% THD at 100 dB SPL. The sensitivity of the LCD-X is 103 dB per 1 milliwatt with a 20 ohms impedance versus the 100 dB per 1 milliwatt sensitivity and 18 ohms of the MM500. Both headphones, according to Audeze, require a minimum recommended power of greater than 100 milliwatts and a recommended power level of greater than 250 milliwatts, making them on paper pretty close in technical specs. Both headphones include a standard travel case and braided cable, with the LCD-X allowing you to upgrade to a premium package if you desire, which includes an additional balanced 4-pin XLR cable, a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch single-ended stereo adapter, and a professional travel case. I will link to the MM500 as well as both options of the LCD-X in the video description for you to read more about them, as well as see the current price differences. If you are interested in making a purchase, we will price match, and you can always message us through the website or call as well for the best price. Okay, let's talk about my impressions of build quality and comfort between these two headphones before getting into my sound impressions. As far as looks go, I am drawn to the visual design of the MM500, which looks more sleek and refined compared to the LCD-X. The headband systems are similar but different on both headphones, with the MM500 feeling more durable and visually better looking. The MM500 most definitely sports a tighter clamp force, but the more I listen to them, the more I get used to the clamp, and the pads also may be breaking in a bit more, allowing them to soften up some. However, potential buyers should know that if you are sensitive to clamping force, the MM500 has a tighter clamp. However, it also feels lighter when listening and feels more secure when turning my head when working at my desk. The pads on both headphones are very comfortable, and those of you with larger ears may prefer the larger driver and pads of the LCD-X, as the MM500 is a bit snugger of a fit. However, for my ears and the size of my head, both are good-fitting headphones, with the LCD-X the more comfortable of the two headphones due to the much lighter clamping force, even though they are heavier headphones. So comfort will come down to your personal preferences and tolerance to clamp pressure and overall headphone weight. Okay, so let's get into my sound impressions before giving you my overall thoughts. When comparing these two headphones, I found I enjoy both at their respective price points, with some apparent standout differences in sound quality between them. The MM500 tends to sound like it has a more refined and defined sound, with a bit more resolution and upper mid-range emphasis, which is especially noticeable with vocals on many of the songs I listen to. This upper mid-range energy can sometimes be a good thing, or on some tracks it can present vocals a bit too forward in their presentation. Alternatively, the LCD-X has a more relaxed upper mid-range with more treble in the upper registries, creating a more airy, spacious sound that is generally more relaxing to listen to. Let's go through a few tracks and I will discuss the sound qualities and how they compare in more detail. Starting first with Your Song from Elton John, and the LCD-X presents a bit more spacious quality of sound versus the MM500, with a satisfying balance of Elton's vocals to the instruments on the track. The extra space on the soundstage helps the LCD-X sound less intimate and gives a little more breathing room than the MM500. Neither headphone has a huge soundstage, but the LCDX has more space in how they present. The timbre of the strings as they are being plucked sounds a bit less realistic to my ears from the LCDX, with the MM500 presenting the tone of the instruments with more realism, especially when they fall in the treble region. The dynamics of the drums being played don't have much punch or slam from either of the headphones. Both headphones do an excellent job of imaging all the instruments and Elton's vocals very well on their respective sound stages. The MM500 presents everything more immediate and fast compared to the LCDX, which sounds a bit more relaxed in this regard. The next song I compared the headphones on was Alive by Rufus Du Sol. These guys have been on play a lot lately around my house, and if you dig atmospheric indie electronic dance pop, I highly recommend you give them a listen. Listening to both headphones, and for my preferences, the LCDX is the more enjoyable of the two headphones for this track, as the additional space on the stage created by the LCDX does a better job of giving me that atmospheric sound that this song creates. In addition, the more relaxed upper mid-range makes the vocals in the chorus come across much more pleasurably. Neither headphone is a bass cannon, and the LCDX sounds to express a bit more quantity, while the MM500 presents a bit tighter, more defined quality to its bass. The additional treble, sparkle, and air from the LCDX work well with this track and potentially this genre of music utilizing electronic music production, including the synthesizer. The next song I compared with was Rose Rogue from Saint Germain, which is a lively song fusing electronic beats with jazz, creating an acid jazz sound produced by Ludwig Navarre with Marlena Shaw's vocal samples laid over the beat. Again, the LCDX feels like it places me in the center of the music with more space and atmosphere, as if I am part of the music, whereas the MM500 cleanly lays the music out in front of me in a very balanced way. The trumpet's timbre on the track sounds more accurate when listening to the MM500, as do the cymbals and piano keys. However, that is not to say that the timbre of the LCDX isn't enjoyable. That is not the case, as both headphones are highly enjoyable, and like all things, this will come down to preference. Both headphones sound fast and produce details on the track superbly, imaging them with precision. I feel like both headphones are capable and competitive with each other with just different areas they excel at. I enjoyed this song on both headphones, however, there is something about the soundstage presentation and the way notes hang in the air just a touch longer that I like about the LCDX with this track. The additional treble of the LCDX adds a touch more sparkle to the cymbals, which adds to this track as they are so prominently splashing throughout the song. The next song I compared with was Caribbean Blue from Enya. One of the first things I noticed is the more technical sound of the MM500 seeming to better separate an image at times on this song. The additional presence of Enya's vocals creates a more defined quality to her sound when listening to the MM500, with a tighter and more refined sound quality. The bass has a bit more body when listening to the LCDX, with a bit more sparkle in the top end, giving some peaks at times on the song, which some may perceive as a less balanced sound. Again, the soundstage is still my preference from the LCDX, creating a more holographic dimensional listening experience. Okay, let me give you my thoughts on one more song, then I will provide you with my overall conclusion. The last track is from the one and only Elvis Presley, In the Ghetto, played with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Both headphones display the song beautifully, with the MM500 giving more presence to Presley's vocals and his guitar strings as they are played. The string section of the orchestra also has more energy in the mix. In comparison, the LCDX presents Presley's vocals as richer than the MM500. The orchestra sounds richer as well, with more body. Again, I enjoyed both, and it will come down to your preferences. I would likely lean towards the LCDX on this track for my preferences. So in conclusion, the LCDX still does an excellent job of holding its own with the more expensive MM500. Is the MM500 worth the larger asking price? In my mind, that comes down to a few questions. Will the lighter weight design be important to you as a listener? Are you looking for a more technical presentation and sound with more upper mid-range energy and presence? Do you work in the music or video production industry and want the better of the two headphones, in my experience, for hearing potential issues on mixes or videos? Do you enjoy the new design language as far as tuning and the looks of the MM500? And do you like a smoother treble region with less energy in the upper treble? If you answered yes to most or all of those questions, then I think it's a solid yes that the MM500 is worth a larger asking price. However, on the flip side of the coin, the LCDX has a more enjoyable soundstage for music listening, a more relaxed, easier to listen to upper mid-range, slightly more bass quantity, and is, in my opinion, the more comfortable of the two headphones to wear. So as I have mentioned before in many of our videos, it is best to demo them both side by side with your listening rig to determine which headphone you will like better. If you are interested in trading up your LCDX or other audio gear for the new MM500, check out the links in the video description to our trade up program. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of my experiences comparing these two fabulous Audeze headphones. In the description below, I will link to our website and more info on both headphones and other products discussed during this video. Let's start the conversations in the video comments on what you think of these two headphones. While you are there, smash that like button for us and subscribe today for more headphone comparison videos. Till next time, friends, remember, let the music be your guide.